Okay, Susan, thanks for joining us again today.
That's okay.
Main reason for the meeting was just to discuss with you the gap analysis that Lugo done for you before we done an onboarding process with you as well. So when we first came to see you, was it clearly explained to you that before becoming a client, we would conduct a gap analysis to identify areas that might need remediation?
Yes.
And how do you feel that went?
I think it went very well. I think the gap analysis, the report was really very helpful.
Okay, thanks. And just in retrospect regarding that, how would you rate the overall success of the IT gap analysis project?
Well, very successful, because it actually wrote down quite a lot of the problems that actually, well, we didn't know about, and some of them that we did. So it was good that it captured everything in one place.
Good stuff. And did you feel like the project achieved its objectives and effectively addressed identified gaps in
Yes.
your own network and security?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. And were the project goals communicated clearly and aligned with your own expectations?
Yep. Everything was explained in nice, simple, non-IT terms. So that was helpful for me, and also helpful that I could explain to the team what was happening.
That's great. And how well did the Lugo team understand your specific requirements and needs, bearing in mind the type of business that you are?
So very well. You'll know that we're not the easiest of businesses to understand. We're an old-fashioned delivery company. We're established under an Act of Parliament, Confirmation Act, and we manage 17 other entities. And we manage a lot of data, as you know. So it's quite complicated. And I think Lugo IT spent a bit of time just trying to understand what our business is, and also what each of the team members did, which I think was very helpful, because we're not kind of your usual, he does HR, they do accounts. You know, we've got an almoner, we've got a senior company officer, we've got all sorts of weird and wonderful things going on here. So that was important to just sit down and understand what everybody was doing, what their job was, what their role was.
Sure, thanks for that, Susan. And did you encounter any particular challenges during the project at all?
No.
Not particularly. And how satisfied were you and your organisation with the recommendations based on the analysis?
Very satisfied, because not only did we have the problem, but we actually had the solution for a change, because we've got lots of problems here, but nobody's very good at coming up with the solution. So it was nice to see that all in one place. Here's all your problems, but here's how they can be fixed.
Terrific. And based on your experience, then, would you recommend our particular IT gap analysis services to other organisations?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's great to know what you don't know what you don't know. Isn't that where you start from? So if you don't know what's wrong, you can't really fix it. You can probably muddle through, but you can't actually fix it properly. And you might think it might cost a bit more, but I think it's better value for money to do a gap analysis first and then to do the fixing, rather than to try and say, we need you to fix this, this, and this, because there are a myriad of other things that need to be fixed in the background. So yes. I would definitely say it's people might say it's going to cost a bit more, but I think it's about value for money.
Thanks, Susan. Appreciate that. So leading on from the gap analysis, the whole idea was that this was an independent review that we were commissioned for in terms of your business, and based on what we came to you, you were quite keen for us to start working with you in terms of IT support and such like. So the gap analysis obviously led on to an onboarding project as well. And so how would you rate your overall experience of the onboarding process?
We had a good experience here of the onboarding. We didn't have any downtime, or very minimal for the team, so that was great. And I think everybody kind of understood from the gap analysis and the summary that we gave about what we were trying to achieve. So yeah, we had a good experience.
Sure, thanks. And did you find the communications Lugo was providing clear and timely throughout the onboarding as well?
Yep, and I think that was super important for us, because we've got a lot of disparate team members who are in and out of offices and whatnot. So sometimes communication can be quite difficult for us as a team, but we found it pretty smooth, and Lugo pretty patient in trying to catch various members if they were out or doing something. So yeah.
Sure. And did you feel like your specific needs and requirements were addressed during the onboarding? For example, people being where they should be at that time and not too much disruption and such like?
Yeah, we didn't really find much disruption, to be honest.
That's great. Part of the onboarding as well, of course, is to introduce you to our services and support services. And did you feel that there was a sufficient training given so that you could use our support facilities, like our ticketing system?
Yeah,
example?
pretty easy. Yeah, pretty easy to use your ticketing system. So everybody uses it in here. I haven't had anybody say they couldn't use it. And I know that quite a few of us have used the calling the help desk. So, and that's been super efficient as well. So yeah, pretty pleased with that.
Mm-hmm. All sounds positive, and I'll ask you anyway. Did you feel that any aspects of the onboarding process could have been improved?
No, I didn't. No, and we didn't really have any comments here about it. So
that's good. How satisfied after this onboarding process? How satisfied are you with the security measures we've now implemented for your users and for your data?
very satisfied. I think, as I said, we still have the server to address, but that's been a resource issue at our side, nothing to do with Lugo IT. So we know what needs to be done. I just need the new CEO to sit down and give some time to the project, so to organise the SharePoint files and move everything across. So yeah, I found it good.
That's great. And final question for you, Susan. Would you recommend our IT services to other businesses? And if you do, why would you?
Yes, I would recommend. I think, well, from our experience here, Lugo IT have been, I mean, you've been very professional, very patient. You've been good at working with team members. We have kind of odd role descriptions here. So I think that's been very helpful. And you took the time to understand what the organisation did before you started anything, which I think was really important. Because if you just kind of bash on and start doing stuff, we could have ended up in a little bit of a muddle. So I think that's, yeah, that would be my opinion.
Yes. And do you feel that your board, your court has got a better understanding now of how
Yeah,
what they're doing for you?
Yeah, when you came to do the presentation and talked about the issues and challenges with the IT system, I think it all kind of dawned on them that it was quite a big project to take on. And it was good that we could give them that explanation. I think those I know it took a bit of time out of your day, but for me, it was really worthwhile.
That's great. Okay, Susan, thanks very much. And would you be okay for us to use any of your comments in any marketing materials?
Of course.
Yeah,
no problem.
And just before you go, could I ask you two more as well? And how satisfied have you been with the security measures that you've got now in place with the data, considering you do hold a lot of
very
sensitive
satisfied
data?
Yeah, very satisfied. Much better, much safer.
Perfect. And could you describe us in 3 words, and do you feel that you've had the Lugo love from us?
I can't remember what I gave you as the last 3 words, I have to say. I'm thinking professional. I'm definitely thinking patient and kind, as I mentioned. So I could say that as that's just one word. And also, actually, I think the communication was good in terms of you've got lots of technical ability that, I mean, I don't know one end of IT from the other, but it was all explained in very layman's terms so we could understand what was happening. So I think that was, sometimes it's the fear of the unknown, isn't it? Oh, I'm not really very sure about that, and I don't really know much about IT. So it is really helpful to have people who will explain things and take the time to do it rather than just bash on. So I think that's been important for us.
Yeah, no, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. Susan, thanks again for your time. Much appreciated.
No problem. That's great.
We'll speak to you soon.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks
Bye,
again,
Shannon.
Susan.